Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I am back. I am sorry for not being able to make, I'll have two apologies here. Apology one on Friday. Sorry I was not able to get the fourth video out on Friday. As you probably seen in my very first video, I mentioned that I was coming under something. Not quite sure what it was. I still think it was a little bit of a cold, and I was pretty much mostly bedridden for the first two days because I had a migraine and I had to be in a black room for the first 2 days. So there's that, and I am still a bit under the weather, a lot better, significantly better. And then on Monday, I decided to take it off because still was under the weather, and I was hoping that maybe giving me an extra day of rest would be sufficient so that way I can still keep my voice and not have it die, because my voice was actually not in the greatest condition yesterday either. So I don't think I would have been able to make very many videos with my voice the way it was. My voice today is a little bit better today, as you can probably obviously tell, but not still not the greatest, and I kind of want to try to get as much videos as I can. There will be no 4 videos. I'll try to get 4 videos out at some point. Maybe not this week. It all depends on how much my voice can take, and honestly, how I'm actually doing. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, today's going to be a little bit different here. And, what I mean is, we'll still have our typical reports of the news and information that's been going on, but I'll be doing something about a rating system, or rather, I would say what women will call the numbers 1 through 10, because this will be specifically for women, or specifically people, or what you call simps, trying to understand the reason why there is a 1 through 10 rating for terms of attractiveness and all this other great stuff. So I hope you guys like this video and you get to learn something. All right, so a lot of people will come out and start saying specifically out like people that only men look out for attractiveness. They only like what they look out on the outside, and yeah, I would say that we do, and I would also say that we have probably created the 1 through 10 bar in terms of attractiveness. However, that being said, women do this too. And women, don't try to act like you don't, because we all know you do. Because we all know how you guys act when you don't find somebody you find attractive and you act in a kind of a bitchy and rude type of way. And you don't really care, so yeah, when they don't find you attractive, when you don't find them attractive, all right, that's the first thing. That's how you operate. That is always how you guys are going to operate, and I don't think that's ever going to change. But what I do know is that every human goes off of an actual scale, or will be attracted to somebody at first in attractiveness. Now, most guys will pretty much date any woman that is essentially, I would say, at least a 5. I would say. Maybe a 5. Some could get away with a 4, but 5 is, fine. 6 is, I would say, above average. And, there you have it. However, even though that we all do this, it does not mean it's you get in front of the door. Because every human is attracted to each other by looks at first. And people are gonna say, I hate it when men are only attracted by that will only go by looks or whatever. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but as I've been saying, women do this too. Men will do this. This is your foot in the door. Now, it just means you're getting your foot in the door for either party. So that being said, that's not going to be avoidable. The reason why we do this for the most part is because we do this out of biological needs of trying to choose the best mate for our offspring. And sorry, hippo is going to reach that threshold because one, normally people that are fat show that they're lazy. Two, people that are fat normally just don't take care of themselves. And three, normal people when people are fat, they are unhealthy. So normally when you have an unhealthy looking person, that doesn't appetize you or attract you because this is showing a lot of other things that are about them that usually can't come to be true, so you avoid these people. This does not necessarily mean that we will treat you like garbage or whatever as a person. It just means we have no desire to date you or want to create offspring with you. That's pretty much just the reality. And again, women will keep on saying the same thing, and it's just like I even know that my mom said this specifically is that why I hate it when people always just look up attractiveness, and she is too naive or either too dumb to know that it's like there's just no avoiding it. Now, when you get your foot in the door, which is normally just the attractiveness, it does not mean a man will specifically want to keep you. There's a lot of things that come into the way of, wanting to keep this person. I am definitely a part of those people. Now, as every normal human as possible, of course, I'll go off of attractiveness first. If I think you're a hippo, I will most likely not go after you at all, period. But if you are more of a, normal, slim female, then yes, I will most likely probably be attracted to you. However, this also does not mean that I will go up to you and wanting to talk to you either. But, at the very least, it's a foot in the door, correct? So, normally, when you go and talk to these people, you'll get your foot in the door. However, if your personality is garbage, or they end up finding out through either dating or all these other things, and you end up turning to be out a unsuitable mate or just a terrible person or bad personality, etc., then you lose. That's the thing. It's not like a lot of women seem to not understand that when men don't normally want to keep you around, it's probably because there's something about your personality or whatever that is terrible, or they're just simply not interested in you. That's also the case as well. But most cases is that we don't want women that have a nagging problem, which is honestly the worst thing in existence. Women, if there's one thing that you want to keep a man for out of a lot of things, is that no man wants to come home and be nagged all the damn time about things. It is the most obnoxious and annoying thing on the planet, and no man wants to deal with it. When a man comes home from work, he just wants to be able to relax, maybe sit at home with his wife, girlfriend, or whatever, and not deal with the insanity, which is the nagging, or the bitching, or any type of masculine behavior, because men don't like that. They don't want to deal with it. So if you keep on doing this, Gerard, most men will freaking leave. So, again, I don't see how women are going to come and, be offended on some of this stuff, when reality is that your attitude pretty much dictates whether or not a man wants to stay with you or not. We want good company. We don't want bad company. And unfortunately for you, that if you enact on this type of behavior, then we're just not going to do it. And also, we don't want our women being specifically sexualized. For instance, we don't want our women being exposing themselves to other people. For one thing, it's kind of like a break of trust. It's like, and women will also come out and say like, oh well, well, why don't you care about it? Why don't you care? It's just people looking at. Well, guess what? Men don't like it when their girlfriend or wife is being exposed to other people, because that's supposed to be sacred to them, right? So, that being said, they don't like it. And honestly, it puts a bad reputation on the man as well, because it's like, oh, well, your wife or girlfriend is a whore or whatever, and it has a bad negative influence. And not only that, women, it also has a negative influence on the children that you would probably have in the future, because they will get bullied in the future. And this is what a lot of TikTok women don't seem to understand at all, is that, yeah, everything's great now, but give it about half a decade or so, and then you'll start to realize that it's not so great, because your beauty starts to dry up. Lots of people want to start seeing you, and then your children come involved, and that will probably have a chance to your children being bullied, which you don't care, because you don't care if you're doing it anyways. And then, two, your children may disown you because of what you're doing. So there's a lot of negatives that TikTok, that becoming a sex worker is. And trust me, that's what it is. If you're becoming not a TikToker, but an OnlyFans or any type of porn thing, whatever you want to call it, you're a sex worker, regardless of what you want to say, and that's just the end all be all. And it's not gonna have any positives for you at all. Yeah, sure, we have Sasha Grey coming out and making her YouTube channel, and being one of the few, I guess you call so, sex workers that was able to do fine. But guess what? She's not able to get work, so she kind of only has an ability to go to a Twitch streamer, because most work doesn't want to hire you, and that's just the reality. A lot of women are going to say, well, a lot of women's rights or whatever, and we should be able to do what we want. Like, well, not everything that you do is not going to have free of consequences, and these are the consequences. And most people don't want to deal with women that have that type of history, and that's just the reality. So when we go into these rating systems, the rating systems are pretty much what I'm saying. Pretty much what it is just to dictate your level of attractiveness. But almost any female, especially in the 18 through, I would say, even 26, 27 age range, it's gonna. But as long as you're normal looking, like slender or whatever, you're gonna have a pretty easy chance of getting a male. It's not that hard. Unfortunately for men, not so much. All right, so we have to try harder. We don't really get anything benefit. But again, as I said, remember these things, is that for the most part, is that every man or every woman will base somebody off of attractiveness first. That's just normal. That's just natural. And until honestly, women do this too, obviously, but women especially, until you start understanding that's just the case, and that's how most people technically operate in today's society, and since millennia, you're gonna have a hard time trying to see the reality of things, of how people get attracted to each other. Again, attractions first, get your foot in the door. Next is seeing what your actual worth is as a human, such as your personality, etc., etc. And again, if you don't pass those next walls and those next hurdles, you won't have a date or what have you. And if anything, you'll just be used as an object, or just used as or just want to be pumped and dumped, because then maybe you're just attractive for not one thing, but you're not attractive, but that's all you're going to be useful for. Well, that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next one. Take care.